So after an extremely successful start to their Phase 3 of films with Captain America Civil War, Marvel is rolling out their next and seemingly quite different film, Doctor Strange. To be honest, the initial marketing for this film looked cool, but didn't really hook me, but as we got closer and closer to the release, this movie just started to look better and better to me. So, now that it's arrived, let's talk about it.
You'll die protecting this world, Mr. Doctor.
And as per usual, I'm going no spoilers to start off with, and then later on, I'll get into the spoilers. So have no fear, nothing will be ruined for you. So, does Doctor Strange fit in with the otherwise pretty incredible track record of the MCU? Absolutely. Doctor Strange is fantastic. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be, and I just had so much fun with this film. Firstly, the cast is phenomenal. Benedict Cumberbatch kills it as Doctor Strange. He's very Tony Stark-like in the sense that he starts as kind of a jerk, and then becomes more humble, but Cumberbatch nails that. If they're planning on making this character the new Iron Man kind of main character for the series, then I am on board. And no, I'm not just biased towards him because we share the same first name. I really enjoyed Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo. At a lot of times, his performance reminded me of a Shakespearean performance, a little bit like we saw in Thor, and I just think that's really cool to see in a Marvel film. Tilda Swinton was really good as the Ancient One. Mats Mikkelsen was really good as the villain Caecilius, although I have to say, again, this is another Marvel villain that isn't super memorable. He's cool, and he has some intimidating moments, but at the end of the day, his character wasn't super deep, and his backstory was a bit generic. But still, he worked for this film, and the performance was great. Rachel McAdams and Benedict Wong were good too, but they didn't really do that much for me to comment on. Now, the main thing this film has going for it is the action and the visual effects. It's all I've heard about this film for a while now, how crazy these visuals are. And let me just say, they lived up to my expectations. The visual effects in this movie are incredible. They're unique, trippy, interesting, crazy. I don't know, I can't really describe it. You have to see this for yourself. It's awesome. I heard someone say it's like Inception on acid. Yeah, that's accurate. And the action is also incredible. Because of all this world-changing physics, matter-bending magic, there's some very creative action sequences here. It's awesome stuff, especially one action scene towards the end that was just amazing. The movie also had something that I wasn't expecting, and that was this epic feel to it. In a couple of scenes, there were moments that I would describe as epic, that gave me a feeling that I don't think any other MCU movie has given me. The best example that I can think of is, without spoiling anything, at one point the Ancient One enters a scene, and it's just spectacular. Now, as far as tone goes, this film does have that signature Marvel lighthearted tone, and what came as a surprise to me, for whatever reason, it's actually very funny. Benedict Cumberbatch had a lot of funny moments, and I just want to say, the scene that I laughed the hardest at involved the Cloak of Levitation, which just on the whole I thought was a great comedic addition to the film. As far as the other technical aspects of the movie, I thought the directing and writing was great, and I really enjoyed the film's music. All of the MCU music does sound a bit similar, which I've personally never had a problem with. It's great music for these kinds of movies. But this had something a little extra to it that made it stand out to me. So good job, Michael Giacchino, on this one. Now, a complaint I've heard quite a bit about the MCU is that all these movies feel the same, and I understand where that complaint comes from. So, does this fit into that criticism? Yes and no. It does have that MCU feel to it, light tone, likable characters, occasional sad moment, cool action, and like I said before, there are quite a few similarities between this and the first Iron Man. But it does still manage to feel a bit unique in the series. It didn't feel like anything I'd seen before from this universe, and I think that's helped by the fact that this finally introduced real magic into the MCU. Not Thor's weird science magic combo type thing, but real magic, real other dimensions and alternate worlds and crazy matter manipulation and all that, and that made this stand out for me. There isn't much I didn't like here. The only real issue I had with this film was the pacing. Most of the time it was good, but occasionally it would rush through things very quickly, like some of Doctor Strange's training, for example. It went from him completely failing at some stuff to, oh wow, he can suddenly do this in a very short span of time. Sometimes I found myself a little confused as to what he could and couldn't do. Also, the occasional character choice doesn't make a lot of sense, or again, feels very rushed. I'm not going to say specifically what for the sake of not spoiling anything, but there was one scene where I was like, what, really? You're just gonna go along with this just like that? Alright. I think you'll know what I mean when you see the film. But besides that, I love this movie. Along with Iron Man and Winter Soldier, this is up there as one of my favorite MCU solo movies. It's extremely exciting, extremely creative, extremely fun to watch, and I highly recommend it. I'll give Doctor Strange a 9.5 out of 10. Now, let's talk spoilers. If you haven't seen this film, come back here when you have. You've been warned.
Are you ready to have your world turned upside down?
So, first off, Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone. We already sorta knew this from some promotional material, but yeah, Doctor Strange has one of the Infinity Stones, which was by far one of the coolest elements of the film. That whole action scene that took place while the destruction of a city was happening in reverse in the background was that super creative action scene I was talking about earlier. The Ancient One dies, that scene with her and Strange's spirits talking was actually pretty interesting. Dormammu shows up, which I thought was super cool that they actually did this kind of character in the MCU. He's kind of like the MCU's Galactus now, I guess. And that whole bargain scene was incredible and pretty funny. Reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow quite a bit. Also, before I talk about the end credit scenes, I just want to say I really like that new Marvel opening. When I first saw it, I wasn't the biggest fan, but when it started playing in the cinema, I just started smiling. I love these movies, I love this world, and this opening logo just got me ready for this adventure. Now, as far as the end credit scenes go, the mid credit scene was great. Thor shows up and talks to Doctor Strange about Odin and Loki, so I guess Thor finally figured out that Loki has taken Odin's place, and I guess that means that Doctor Strange will be showing up in Thor Ragnarok, which makes me even more excited for that, but also a little nervous. I hope it doesn't get too overcrowded with Thor's whole Ragnarok thing going down, and the Planet Hulk situation, and then also Doctor Strange, although he'll probably only have a very minor role. And then at the very end, we see Mordo go bad, which, if you know anything about the Doctor Strange comics, you know he's a famous Doctor Strange villain, so that makes sense. I'm guessing he'll be the bad guy in the sequel, which will be interesting to see after what went down in this film. So those were my thoughts on Doctor Strange. What did you think of it? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram at BHL_Hudson, check out my Twitter at BHL_Hudson, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.